Can DaVinci Resolve 20's new AI audio assistant really mix better than me, your DaVinci Resolve audio guru? I'm gonna run the AI audio assistant on a video that I remade from Peter McKinnon.
A phenomenal exercise, grabbing something that you've seen before, recutting it, re-editing it. It's not only fun to do, but you never know who's gonna see your work, and you never know where it might land you.
Put in all my own sound design. I mixed it by hand, scene by scene, and we're going to talk about what the AI gets right and what it doesn't. So let's see if these robots are coming for my job or if I'm safe for now. Let's jump into Resolve. In DaVinci Resolve here, I'm currently in the Edit tab, and that's where we're going to be using the AI audio assistant. So the project I have in my timeline is one that Peter McKinnon had done, where he deleted the sound design out of a watch commercial, re-edited the watch commercial, and then put in his own sound design. Now, I took Peter's video, stripped out the sound, made a few tweaks in the edit, and then added in my own sound design. So if we look at the timeline here, you can see I've got all of my different sound effects in here, and I have some different like pad type noises that go throughout the video. And these are all at the original volume that the clips were at, right? I didn't adjust anything in the inspector. Everything is just drop the clip in and put it where I want the sound to happen in my video. So with the AI audio assistant, you still need to do your sound design and drop in your sound effects and put all these things in your timeline. What the AI audio assistant is going to do is mix all this stuff together for you and hopefully give you a good balanced sound design between dialogue, music, and sound effects for your video and save some time and some work for you. So let's run the AI audio assistant on this video and we'll see how it does. In order to use the AI audio assistant, go to Timeline, AI Tools, and Audio Assistant. Now it's going to pop up this window and ask you what is your delivery standard. In my case, it's YouTube. But if you click on this drop down, you can see the different types of deliveries that you might do. You might be delivering for Disney or Netflix or one of these other options. So I'm going to leave it on YouTube because that's what we're delivering for. Next, I'm going to go ahead and choose Auto Mix. Now, one important thing to know is that when you run the AI audio assistant here, do it at the very end of your audio editing process, right? Make sure you've already put in all your dialogue, your music, your sound effects, everything's done because it's going to master everything for you. And if you start adding in stuff later, it might mess it up and just not be exactly what you want when you're done. So run the AI audio assistant after you're done with everything. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Auto Mix. Resolve is going to classify your audio into sound effects, music, and dialogue. It's going to balance that all out for you, do a mixing job for you, and then it's going to master everything and get it all ready to be delivered for YouTube. Now that didn't take long. It was maybe 10 seconds, just a little longer than it took me to say all that stuff. And if we look at my timeline here, if I make it a little smaller here, we can see it did color code some of our clips there. We've got purple and orange. And then it also went through, if we take a look at our mixer. So I'm going to open my mixer right here. If I slide it out, we can see it did adjust the faders for us. And we also noticed that the effects is lit up now, as well as the EQ. So some of these tracks may have effects or EQ applied to them, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But let's listen through this, see what it sounds like. I want to know what you guys think. Drop your comments down below with what you hear, what you notice, any observations. I want to hear what you guys think. And then once we play through the AI version here, I want to play the original so you could just see the difference between the original and then this AI audio assistant and how it blends everything together and mixes for you. And at the end of the video, you're going to hear my mix. And then I really want to know, is the AI audio assistant better than me? I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay, so that is how the AI audio assistant mixed everything together. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Some of my quick thoughts is I know there's sounds in there that I didn't quite hear or that didn't come through as good as I would have wanted them to. It seemed like some of the sounds were a little loud. And let's just take a look in the timeline here. A couple other things that I noticed is that nothing was blended together, right? We can see nothing was faded in and faded out, which is a lot of what you do when it comes to, adding in sound effects and things like that. I do that quite often just to kind of bring things in and bring them out and just create a little bit more feeling to the sound that is there in the clip. So that's one thing that I noticed. Overall, it does seem pretty loud. Now, it is mastered, right, for YouTube. You could see in our bus one, it was like the levels were way up there, right, because it was mastered for YouTube. So that's a good thing. And if I take a look at the inspector, it did adjust the actual volume on some of these clips if I just click through them and we look up here in our volume section. So that's good. It did do some balancing of all those clips. Now, is it how I would do it? Probably not. You be the judge. You're going to see my video at the end here of how I edited this together. So another thing with the AI audio assistant that I want to mention is that it does put in some effects, right? Now we can see them here in our mixer right in the edit page, but I want to jump into Fairlight just because it's easier to see them over there. So I'm going to hit the musical notes at the bottom and jump into Fairlight. So in Fairlight, I'm just going to make sure my mixer's open here. And if we look down our tracks right here, we can see that there were some changes that were made. And a lot of these tracks have a multi-band compressor that was put onto the track. However, if I click the multi-band compressor to open it up, the only thing I get is a threshold and an amount, right? It's not like the multi-band compressor effect where I can actually go in and make changes that I might want to. All I can do is change the threshold and the amount. Even if I click on the three little dots up here, there's no way to just show you the full multi-band compressor effect. So while it might work just fine this way, as an audio guy, I like being able to see what's going on and make adjustments as I want. Now, if you're using the AI audio assistant or you're new to audio editing, you probably don't care about that because you don't know what it is anyway, right? So these two tools right here, the amount and the threshold, might be enough for you to get by. But you notice it did put that on all of my sound effects tracks. And actually, they're all sound effects tracks. So these are not classified as sound effects, I guess. But the multiband compressor is on all of them. And let's see, did it make the same settings on all of them? I think it probably did. So it looks like it just, in general, applies a threshold of 38 and an amount of 51 on all of the sound effects tracks. Which is not a bad thing. It's not good or bad. It just is what it is. But we can see that it's not making an adjustment based on the sound itself, right? It's just putting a blanket amount on everything that's a sound effect. Now, when we take a look at our bus 1 here, it also added in that same multiband compressor. It did add different settings there because this is our main bus out. And then it also added in a limiter. So with the limiter, we don't actually know what exactly that it's doing. I'm assuming that this means it's pushing it up by 16.6 dB, but all it is just giving us a dial, right? So I'm going to assume that this is no extra gain, right, at 0, and it was at 16.6, which means it's boosting it up that much. And that's okay. I mean, we're still meeting our levels for YouTube, hopefully, based on, the AI audio assistant knowing that we're preparing our file for YouTube. But again, you can't see exactly what's happening like if you threw the limiter effect on here or you used limiter in the dynamics. Now, the other thing to notice too with the AI audio assistant is that it does not apply any dynamics right down here. I mean, the multi-band compressor is kind of dynamics, but it's not the dynamics panel right here like this. So that's interesting. It did adjust our faders for us as well as the volumes in the inspector, so that's a good thing. And it also did not adjust the EQ at all, and it did not adjust the pan at all. So I think some of those things are the creative decisions that you still need to make that the AI isn't going to know what you want. It's not going to know what to do with those things. It's really up to you as the creator to determine, well, how do I want it to sound? Do I want it to come from the right, come from the left? Do I want to compress it? Do I not? Those are the kind of things that AI isn't going to be able to know what you're thinking. But I think it did a pretty good job. However, I do think there still needs to be some tweaks, right? The AI does a good job, but it doesn't know what I want and what I want to hear, right? It just kind of looks at the data and makes some decisions based on that. So I think it did a decent job. Not bad, but I think it could be better too. So let me play the original video here for you without any of my edits, no AI assistant edits, just the sound effects dropped into the video. Here's what that sounds like. So that was the original with the clips at their normal volumes, nothing changed, nothing done. That's how it put that together. So what do you think between those two? Curious to see what you guys think. Drop me a comment between the original and the AI version. I think the AI version does do a good job of balancing some of that out. I think overall the original just sounds too loud overall, right? It's just like too much of everything. So the AI audio assistant does a good job of kind of blending some stuff and adjusting some levels and volumes there and just kind of trying to make it sound better, right? So now let's take a look at my final mix and see what I did here. And then I'm going to play it for you and you be the judge which one sounds better. So if we take a look at my timeline, I have adjusted the volume on a lot of my clips, pretty much all my clips. You can see if I click around them in my inspector over here, the volume has changed on a lot of them. And probably all of them. And the other thing that I did is I blended in clips a lot, right? I faded in, faded out. I want things to kind of rush in, rush out, that kind of stuff. I also added in some keyframes on some specific clips. So by doing these different things, I kind of want to bring in more feeling and pull out some more feeling. At least that's the goal that I'm going for. And you can see even down on this clip right here, volume's adjusted, but I did add in some keyframes, make some changes. Some of the clips here are panned left or right or moving. And another thing I did, if I extend out my mixer here, is I did make some EQ changes along with adding in some effects. For example, on track 3 here, I added in a delay effect. On track 8, I added in a bass booster type of effect. And on some of the tracks, I've just made some minor EQ changes just to sculpt the sound the way that I want it. So let me go ahead and play through my edit here, and then I want to know, what do you think? Who's the winner here? Is it me or is it the AI? So what do you think? Who is the winner there? I gotta be a little biased here. I think mine is better, honestly. I think as it goes through the scenes, I think there's just more in and out kind of feeling of the different sounds. I think you hear a little more detail of like putting on the glove and things like that just don't come through so much in the AI audio assistant version. But what do you guys think? Who's the winner here? Drop your comment down below and let me know. Overall, I think the AI audio assistant is a great tool here in DaVinci Resolve. I think it's a great starting point, which I think is what a lot of AI tools are good for. They do a great job of getting some of the heavy lifting out of the way for you, right? But then I find that a lot of this AI stuff, especially with the audio things and whatnot, like it still requires tweaking. You still have to go through it and you can make it better, but it takes out some of the things that maybe are a little mundane that you don't want to do. But I find that rarely does it just do a final finished job and you're done, right? I think it does a good job of like doing, a good chunk of it, but then I think you still need to know what you're doing, get in there and make some changes and tweaks yourself so that way you can get the best results out of your video. So I'm going to continue to try out the AI audio assistant here and see how it works out in my workflow. Maybe it's something that I'll use all the time. Maybe not. I'm not really sure yet. I'm still playing with it. Hey, we're still in beta, right? So if you found this video fun and interesting, you might want to check out this one up over here too. And with that said, thanks so much for hanging in, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.